Hey there, folks. Before we get rolling, I just want to remind you to follow SkyAlert USA to catch this and all our future videos. If you find our updates helpful, please support us by subscribing, liking, and dropping a comment. Your feedback really helps us keep going and bring you the latest weather alerts. Video script. SkyAlert USA. March 9th, 2026. Welcome back to SkyAlert USA, your #1 source for the most critical, up-to-the-minute weather coverage across the United States and Canada. I'm your host, and today, March 9th, 2026, we have an absolutely packed broadcast for you. We are tracking a devastating multi-day severe weather outbreak that has already claimed lives across the Central Plains, a dangerous Arctic deep freeze locking down the Great Lakes in the northeast, major snowfall threats from the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic, and a powerful atmospheric force known as the polar vortex that is driving nearly all of it. So stay with us, because this is a weather day you do not want to miss. Let's get right into it. We begin tonight with heartbreaking, devastating news out of the state of Oklahoma. A multi-day severe weather threat unfolding across the plains this week claimed at least 2 lives when a mother and daughter were killed after a likely tornado struck northern Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol confirmed that a 47-year-old mother and her 13-year-old daughter were found in their vehicle near U.S. Highway 60 and County Road 2340. An OHP spokesperson said their deaths appeared to be tornado-related. Both victims were from Fairview, Oklahoma. Family members have now been identified. The mother was Jody and her daughter was Lexi. Jody's brother Jacob described learning about the tragedy while he was in Utah. "It was about 9:45 here when we got the news," Jacob said. "It was a phone call from my brother, and from there we spent the next hour calling our siblings and close friends." He said the family simply asks for prayers, describing their family as devastated. Investigators believe the vehicle was hit directly by a tornado. Authorities were able to locate the vehicle after the phone signal was traced. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol pinged the cell phone the victims had been using when they lost connection with a family member during the storm. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt said on social media that he was praying for the family as they grieve the tragic loss, as well as those impacted by the storms. And emergency crews also reported a semi-truck rollover on Highway 412, 3 miles of downed power lines, and structural damage in Cleo Springs. The National Weather Service confirmed that at least 4 tornadoes touched down in western Oklahoma, primarily in Grant and Alfalfa counties. Several storm chasers also wrecked their vehicles in northwest Oklahoma during this nocturnal storm event, emergency management officials reported. This is a staggering and sobering reminder. Tornadoes at night are among the most deadly weather events possible. You cannot see them. You may be asleep. Please, everyone across Tornado Alley, make sure you have a weather alert radio. Make sure your phone notifications for the National Weather Service are turned on, and always take shelter immediately when a warning is issued. This was not just a single event in Oklahoma. This tornado was one of at least 3 confirmed or observed late Thursday across the Texas Panhandle, northwest Oklahoma, and southern Kansas. Storm chasers reported additional destruction in Cleo Springs and Helena, Oklahoma, with overturned mobile homes and damaged houses indicating the storm's wide reach. The 2-day outbreak of severe storms proved deadly across the central United States. On Friday, another round of dangerous storms killed 2 more people in Beggs, Oklahoma, in Okmulgee County. The Okmulgee County Sheriff confirmed a 4-mile path of damage was left in the area. In total, this outbreak produced at least 8 deaths across the central United States from the 2-day severe weather event. 8 lives lost, families shattered, communities left to pick up the pieces. Wednesday's storms earlier in the week had resulted in large hail, flooded roads, and hundreds of flight delays from the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. And that was just the beginning. The threats across the region included hail potentially measuring 2 inches or more, strong winds up to 75 miles per hour, and multiple tornadoes. Major population areas at risk through the weekend include Tulsa, Kansas City, St. Louis, Peoria, Des Moines, and Oklahoma City. Texas was placed under a state of emergency as the severe weather turned deadly, and flood threats continued to grow and expand as additional storm systems tracked from Texas toward the northern states. Let me be very clear about what this means. We are talking about a corridor of destruction stretching from the Texas Gulf Coast all the way up toward the Great Lakes. Severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, baseball-sized hail, damaging straight-line winds, and catastrophic flash flooding. This is a major multi-state, multi-day weather emergency. Now, while the South and Central Plains are dealing with violent thunderstorms and tornadoes, the northern United States and Canada are facing a completely different and equally dangerous weather crisis, a brutal Arctic invasion driven by the collapse of the polar vortex. A final stratospheric warming event has signaled a polar vortex split and collapse, with a separated vortex core now moving directly into the United States and Canada. This is not a minor cold snap. This is a deep atmospheric event with enormous consequences. The surface temperature forecast for the next several days shows a polar air anomaly over the eastern parts of the United States. Single-digit temperatures are forecast over the Midwest and the northeastern United States, with lows potentially reaching 5 degrees below zero to 10 degrees below zero Fahrenheit. However, a high-pressure anomaly in the west brings a strong wave of above-normal temperatures into the western and central United States and southwestern Canada. The new Arctic cold pool is bringing a particularly cold start to March, the first month of meteorological spring 2026. Monday lows will be in the 20s across the Midwest to the Ohio Valley, with temperatures in the mid-teens across the Great Lakes and the northeast United States. It will remain much warmer further south, with lows in the 40s and 50s on Monday. The lowest temperatures are forecast over the upper Midwest and the northeastern United States, reaching near 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or even negative single digits over the northeast. Think about that for a moment. The first week of March, meteorological spring, and parts of the northeast and upper Midwest are staring down sub-zero temperatures. This is the raw, unfiltered power of a polar vortex collapse. The intensifying polar jet stream will keep the Arctic high over Canada strong, locking the Great Lakes and the Northeast in a deep freeze through mid-week, resulting in dangerously cold temperatures to start the first month of the meteorological spring season. For our Canadian viewers, this Arctic high is sitting directly over you. Southern Ontario, Quebec, the Prairie Provinces, you are the origin zone of this cold air mass. Temperatures across southern Canada are expected to run well below normal, and wind chills will make conditions feel life-threatening for anyone exposed outdoors. Riding on the back of this Arctic invasion is a powerful winter storm system, an Arctic clipper barreling across the northern United States from west to east. The Clipper storm is a system fueled by a fresh surge of Arctic air mass diving south from Canada into the United States. These storms typically form in the lee of the Canadian Rockies in Alberta and quickly move across the northern United States toward the east. While these systems don't carry the high moisture loads of larger winter storms, they are followed by extreme cold air masses characterized by a massive drop in temperature. The storm is projected to impact areas from Chicago and Detroit all the way to New York City and Philadelphia, with Monday morning rush hour travel potentially disrupted by fresh snow and locally ice or freezing rain. This means millions of commuters across the Midwest and Northeast need to prepare right now. If you live in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, New York City, Philadelphia, or any community along this corridor, plan for dangerous road conditions Monday morning. Leave early, drive carefully, and if possible, stay home. In the Pacific Northwest and the Rocky Mountains, a separate storm system is delivering its own punch. Many ski resorts across the Rockies and the Northwest are picking up 6 to 12 inches of snow through this storm, while the central Wasatch in Utah is looking at 10 to 15 inches of snowfall. Let's now break down exactly what the next 3 days look like across every major region. Today is Monday, March 9th. The Arctic Clipper continues sweeping across the Great Lakes and toward the northeast, bringing light to moderate snowfall accumulations. Monday lows will be in the 20s across the Midwest to the Ohio Valley, with mid-teens across the Great Lakes and northeast. Wind chills will be significantly colder. In the south, severe thunderstorm threats remain active from Texas into the lower Mississippi Valley. Heavy rainfall and flooding are concerns across central Texas. Moving on to Tuesday, March 10th, there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall over portions of the central United States, from the plains to the southern Great Lakes. Gulf moisture will be drawn northward over parts of the central United States, from Texas into the upper Mississippi Valley and southern Great Lakes region. This moisture will encounter a southward-moving cold front from the upper Midwest and an area of low pressure along the front over Kansas or Nebraska. This combination should result in convection capable of producing heavy rainfall rates that result in runoff and flooding. Simultaneously, north of the storm track, watch for a transition from rain to a wintry mix and then snow across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Accumulating ice and snow are likely, with snow probabilities for more than 4 inches reaching 40% in the Minnesota Arrowhead and 30% in the western Upper Peninsula of Michigan. South of this swath is the risk for freezing rain. Now, for Wednesday, March 11th, a significant springtime warm-up is expected ahead of a cold front from the Ohio Valley into the northeast, with daytime highs potentially running 20 to 30 degrees above normal, with widespread daily records possible in the forecast. However, this sharp warm-up behind cold air will enhance the severe weather threat as the cold front eventually passes. After the frontal passage, temperatures will moderate back toward normal by Thursday and Friday. For the West Coast and Southwest, conditions remain relatively dry but windy, especially across the Northwest and Rockies, where the jet stream will remain active. As we look toward the second and third week of March, the spring 2026 season is defined by a collapsing La Niña still having a diminishing influence over North America. The transition will be dictated by a high-pressure system in the Pacific, while a low-pressure zone over Canada is expected to keep the colder air mass within reach of the United States. The precipitation forecast shows drier than normal conditions over the southwestern United States and the south coast. Over Canada, the northern United States and the Midwest, above normal precipitation is expected for the spring 2026 season. The combination of spring cold and increased precipitation will also impact early season snowfall potential, which can still surprise across the northern, central and eastern United States. This also sets the stage for an active, severe weather season as warmer and colder air masses clash along the boundary zones, particularly across Tornado Alley. The events of this past week are likely a preview of what March, April and May will bring. Before we close, I want to speak directly to every single viewer across the central United States, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. Weather like what we've seen this week demands that you take action right now before the next storm arrives. Number 1. Download your local National Weather Service alerts. Turn on emergency notifications on your smartphone. Do not silence them at night. Remember, the fatal tornado near Fairview, Oklahoma, struck at night when visibility was near zero. You could not see it coming. Your phone and your weather radio are your lifeline. Number 2. Know your shelter location. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, know where you will go when a tornado warning is issued. A car is one of the most dangerous places to be in a tornado. We lost Jody and Lexi because they were on the road when the storm hit. Do not be caught in your vehicle. Number 3. If you are in the Northeast or Great Lakes, prepare for dangerous wind chills over the next 48 hours. Frostbite can occur in under 30 minutes when wind chills drop below zero. Dress in layers, limit outdoor exposure, and check on elderly neighbors. Number 4. If you are in central Texas or the lower Mississippi Valley, watch for flash flood warnings. Do not drive through flooded roads. Turn around, don't drown. 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet. 2 feet of water can carry away most vehicles. That is your complete SkyAlert USA weather breakdown for March 9th, 2026. A day that will be remembered for its brutal combination of deadly tornadoes in Oklahoma, a historic Arctic freeze across the northern tier, and a complex multi-day storm system that is far from finished. Our hearts go out to the families of all those who lost loved ones this week across the central United States. No storm report, no forecast, no radar image matters more than the human lives behind these numbers. If this broadcast helped keep you and your family informed and safe, please hit that like button, subscribe to SkyAlert USA, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a weather alert. Share this video with your family and friends who may be in the path of these storms. Your single share could save a life. I'm your host on SkyAlert USA. Stay safe, stay alert, and we will see you in the next broadcast.